Did you know that every 40 seconds, someone in the United States has a stroke? Among these, mini strokes or TIAs are often overlooked because they are mini. But don't let the mini fool you. They can have a maximum impact on your health and could be harbingers of a full-blown stroke. If only you knew the signs. But what if you could know? In today's critical episode, we're going to walk through the 12 warning signs of a mini stroke before it's too late. We'll arm you with the knowledge you need to spot these silent warnings before they escalate, potentially saving your life or the life of a loved one, and also discussing how to prevent a mini stroke. So let's dive straight in because every second counts when it comes to your health. What is a mini stroke? You've probably heard of a stroke, right? But have you ever come across the term Ministroke or TIA? If you're scratching your head wondering what it could be, buckle up, because we're about to unravel this medical mystery for you. Picture this: a part of your brain, that mastermind behind everything you do, suddenly gets deprived of its lifeblood, the flow of oxygen-rich blood. This scenario gives birth to what we call a mini stroke, or technically speaking, a transient ischemic attack, TIA. During a TIA, your brain starts acting out, throwing out stroke-like signals, only to return to normal within 24 hours. It's like a brief, scary intermission in the drama of your life. Now you might ask, how is it different from a stroke then? Excellent question. You see, a stroke and a TIA share a common trait, a disruption in the brain's blood flow. However, while a stroke can leave lasting damage, a TIA is a bit of a drama queen, making a scene and then resolving itself within a day, leaving no long-term physical consequences. Yet here's the kicker. A TIA and a stroke share an uncanny resemblance in their symptoms. So if you feel a stroke coming on, it's better to dial up your local emergency number than to sit and ponder whether it's a stroke or a mini stroke. Why? Because identifying a TIA early and getting the right treatment can be your golden ticket to prevent a full-blown, life-altering stroke. Ever wonder what a mini stroke feels like? Well, you're in for a bit of a twist. Here's the thing. Mini strokes are basically like doppelgangers of actual strokes when it comes to symptoms. So distinguishing between the two just by how you feel, that's like trying to spot the difference between identical twins. It's almost impossible without a medical evaluation. Here's a tip-off though. Whether it's a stroke or a mini stroke, their symptoms stage a sudden, uninvited appearance. It's like they just crash the party, unannounced and unexpected. What sort of symptoms are we talking about? Buckle up because here comes the list of the usual suspects. You might feel numbness or weakness, especially on one side of your face, arms, or legs. It's like your body is playing a weird game of tag with you. Then there's sudden confusion and trouble speaking or understanding others. Imagine it's like someone's flipped your internal babble fish to out of order. Vision problems may crop up, making the world seem like a poorly tuned TV set. Walking could feel like you're on a roller coaster even when you're on flat ground. Balance might ditch you, leaving you feeling dizzy or uncoordinated. And a severe, unexplained headache could feel like an unwelcome guest who refuses to leave. You might also find swallowing challenging, like your throat's suddenly forgotten its job. And let's not forget the notorious facial droop. Your face might look like it's melting on one side, like a wax figure under a blowtorch. Sounds scary, right? Well, if you or someone around you starts channeling any of these symptoms, don't second guess. Act like it's an emergency because it just might be. Call 911 or your local emergency services, or bolt to the nearest emergency room as fast as you can. Remember, in a mini stroke or stroke scenario, every second counts. Curious about what triggers a mini stroke? Well, the usual suspect is a blood clot, the ultimate party pooper for your brain's blood supply. Imagine this. Your blood vessels are like busy highways, delivering essential oxygen-loaded blood to your brain. Suddenly, a traffic jam in the form of a blood clot appears. What happens next? The oxygen can't reach the brain, which means it can't function as it should. But luckily, in a mini stroke, these traffic jams usually clear up quickly, and the blood highway becomes free-flowing again. But here's the plot twist. Blood clots are not the only villains in this story. Sometimes fatty deposits in the arteries, think of them like greasy fast food leftovers in your body's pipelines, or even an air bubble can crash the party, leading to a mini stroke. And very rarely, a small leak in your brain's plumbing, also known as a hemorrhage, can trigger a mini stroke. As we age, we tend to face a higher risk of blood clots. Why, you ask? Well, just like how old pipes in a house can narrow over time, our blood vessels can narrow down as we age. But there are other risk amplifiers too. Got high blood pressure? It's like your blood is rushing through those vessels with too much force. Or have plaque buildup in your arteries due to atherosclerosis. It's like your body's highways are slowly getting clogged up. And let's not forget the usual lifestyle culprits: smoking, diabetes, high cholesterol, and obesity. These factors are like accomplices to the main villains, further increasing your odds of encountering a blood clot and ultimately a mini stroke. Ever wondered what the risk factors of mini stroke and stroke? Let's talk about high blood pressure first, the big boss of risk factors. Think of it as a hammer continuously pounding the inner walls of your arteries. Over time, this relentless pounding can create a mess, resulting in the buildup of plaque, aka atherosclerosis. This plaque can then break, trigger blood clots, and pave the way for a mini stroke or a stroke. If your doctor has ever played the high blood pressure card, consider it a wake-up call. Keep a close eye on your blood pressure like a hawk watching its prey. But hey, the risk factors don't end there. Some of them are like mischievous thieves that you can chase away, while others are unwelcome guests that you can't kick out of the party. The ones you can chase away include smoking. Remember, every puff of nicotine and carbon monoxide is like a punch to your cardiovascular system. Untreated diabetes, a diet rich in saturated and trans fats. Think of your love for red meat, fried food, and fast food as a one-way ticket to high cholesterol town. Lack of physical activity, sorry couch potatoes, and obesity, which acts as a gateway to other troublesome conditions like diabetes and high cholesterol. Then, there are the uninvited guests you can't control. These include growing older. Unfortunately, we can't turn back the clock. A family history of strokes, especially if it happened before age 65. Your race, African Americans for example, are at a higher risk. And your sex, ladies, factors like pregnancy, history of preeclampsia or gestational diabetes, oral contraceptive use, and postmenopausal hormone therapy can up your stroke game. Bear in mind, having these risk factors doesn't mean a stroke or mini stroke is waiting around the corner, but it's like a heads up from your body. So listen to it, watch out for any signs, and keep your doctor in the loop. How can you prevent a mini stroke? Okay, let's get real. While some risk factors can be as stubborn as a mule and can't be changed, there are certainly steps you can take to steer clear of this medical speed bump. Are you a smoker? Time to snuff out that cigarette for good. Reach out to a health pro who can help you devise a battle plan to win the quit smoking war. Oh, and by the way, steer clear of secondhand smoke too. It's just as sneaky. What's on your plate also matters. Make friends with a rainbow of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. They're not just colorful and crunchy. They're loaded with nutrients that can help fortify your health against mini strokes. Watch your weight. Keeping it within a healthy range is like giving mini strokes the cold shoulder. And while you're at it, don't forget to move those muscles. Regular exercise is like your personal bodyguard, keeping you safe from the risk of mini strokes. Like a drink or two, well, consider capping it. Limiting your alcohol intake is like putting up roadblocks for mini strokes. And if you're dabbling in illegal drugs, stop. They're not just lawbreakers, they're also health wreckers. Watch out for fats, especially the sneaky saturated and trans kind. They might make your food tasty, but they also invite trouble like mini strokes. Lastly, if you have pre-existing conditions like diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, or any other health condition, collaborate with your healthcare squad. Crafting a treatment plan that works for you is like building a fortress against mini strokes. Now it's your turn. We want to hear from you. Are there any signs you'd like to learn more about? Perhaps you've got a personal story or some tips you'd like to share. Drop them in the comment section below. Your insights could be the life-saving nugget someone else needs. And hey, if you found this video helpful, why not hit that like button? It's a small action, but it can make a world of difference, helping this vital information reach more people. Remember, we're in this together, and every like and every comment fuels our mission to spread health awareness one video at a time. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.